he rated way clear on my ratings.
And it's Young Verder who has it won. Young Verder, too classy for them, scores by about 2 1/4 Berkeley Square.
I think it deserves to be favourite and I'm having it on top.
Legacies takes Vibrant Sun and Brown Rush to the outside. Legacies with 50 metres to go, drawing clear, and Legacies.
Hello everyone and welcome to my preview for All-Star Mile Day. Even though it's an underwhelming All-Star Mile, I reckon it's a cracking card. There's a couple that I'm really keen on, and there's a few others that I'd like to have some units on this week. Last week wasn't too good, getting 0 units back, but only put on 2.75. I think Pinstriped getting scratched was the main reason why that dropped so much, but anyway, we'll move on to this week and see who we've got. Race 1 is the listed Victoria Gold Cup over the 2,000 metres. And we're going to take a look at the market. Carini is the favourite at the moment, $1.85 odds on. Muramasa, second favourite at $5. Mankind is at $5.50. And Captain Envious is at $6.50. So we'll get on with the replay. We're going to take a look at the Blamey from last start, featuring Carini, Muramasa, and Captain Envious. And Panfield, but I've only highlighted the 3 horses. Carini settled in an on-speed position outside the leader, was game in defeat second up. I think the 54 kilos in this race really suits, and I'm having 3 units on Carini. I reckon it wins. I think it gets the best run in the race and should be really hard to beat. Yeah, I think it should be winning Carini. Muramasa's run was pretty good. Captain Envious needs further, and Panfield was decent as well. Have a look at this. Saminator's top 4 is back. I've got Carini ahead of Muramasa. Second up will be Fitter. Captain Envious will be better out in the trip, as it is on Saturday, and it draws gate 2 for a good run. And Panfield, first up from a Hong Kong career, was pretty poor, but I think second up can improve and looks over the odds at $27. That is my look at Race 1, the Gold Cup. Race 2 is the Vobis Gold Reef for the 3-year-olds over the 1,600 metres. Last year won by Bel Air at Moonee Valley, but I was on Toronto Terrier and it should have won after it settled 3 wide, no cover. Anyway, the market, Fists of Fury, $2.60 favourite, ahead of Ambassadorial. Waterhouse Bot front runner is at $3, Sox Nation $3.10, and the rest are double figures. This was the last start effort of Fists of Fury at Flemington behind another Will, where it settled in an on-speed position and was really good in defeat, beating a pretty good benchmark 84 field apart from another Will. This horse looks to get a good run on Saturday from gate number 1, can settle in an on-speed position. I think third up now is ready to peak and just looks to bring the best form into the race. It's on top for me, ahead of Sox Nation, who I've got in for a close second. I had trouble splitting these 2, but I went with Fist of Fury. Sox Nation will settle probably outside the leader and is race fit, so it's got to be considered. Back to the 1,600 metres also helps. Ambassadorial in for third. Waterhouse Bot front runner will go to the fence and the lead and should be hard to beat third up peaking. And Inexorable for Damien Lane, and Graham Begg looks to be 4th pick as the 4th favourite. But I'm with Fist of Fury in race number 2, the Vobis Gold Reef. Race 3 is a benchmark 70 over the 1,200 metres, and we have an exciting favourite lined up here. White Bear is the $2.35 favourite, coming off a 5-length win last start. Wolfie, the class runner, at $5. Furious is at $6.50, and the rest, all bar Ice Symphony at $9.50, are double figures. The last start replay we're going to take a look at is from Ice Symphony at Ararat. This was its last start win, where it went to the front and they didn't catch it. It was a perfect ride from Dean Yendall, and I'm with Ice Symphony on Saturday. Blake Shin goes back on this horse, which I think is a big plus. First up, this horse finished 4 lengths behind Angulette at the Valley. Forget that run. It was first up, it needed the run, and it settled wide without cover, which makes matters even worse. So second up, it returned to winning form, winning over the 1,200 metres, sticks at the 1,200 metres here. Beat a good horse called Prairie Flower, who's good for a Saturday race. So I'm happy to have Ice Symphony on top, and the price is enticing. In for second, White Bear looks to be in a very exciting horse and could just blow them away here. It could just be too good for them. Love Geordie Childs as a rider as well. In for third, Bold Manor at a price. I would have had this horse. Actually, no, I still would have had it third, but It draws a bit wide. It'll go forward. If it gets a good position, it could hold on for a place. And Furious first up can return good for John McNeil and the Hawks team. That's my look at race 3. Race 4 is the Vobis Gold Comet over the 1,000 metres. They're going to fly, and it's a wide open race because the favourite is Vivienne at $3.40. Lempicker is on the second line of betting at $4.20. Then Jigsaw, who's at $4.50, and they're really close together in terms of market prices. This was a last start effort of Vivienne at Caulfield on CF4 Day in the Rubiton Stakes behind Kalos and Asfura. Settled in an on-speed position and tired really late. Over the final 100 metres, really got gassed. So I think back to the 1,000 metres suits this horse ideally. Has had a jump out in between runs, which I think suits. Probably needed the run first up, so I think second up will now be fitter for the run. And Damien Lane sticks, which I think is ideal. Only query is the gate and that it's not going to be right there on speed. I actually think Vivienne could get back to last, but they'll go hard, so I wouldn't be surprised to see Vivienne run over the top of them. Fitter second up. In for second, I've got Lempicker. Had some good form lines behind Vivienne last preparation. I think Lempicker is one of the most underrated horses in Australia and can win on Saturday. We'll want further than 1,000 metres, but there's only 7 of them, so we'll be close enough. Jigsaw's the class runner of the field. Has to go in my top 4, just at 61 kilos. First up, worries me a tad, and Semyon should be, or the stupid autocorrect to semi-line, but Semyon in for 4th. That's what I'm doing. Race 4, Caulfield. Race 5 is the listed anniversary Vase over the 1,600 metres. We'll take a look at the market. Aaron Bay with the race fitness is just favourite at $3.40 ahead of Nugget at $3.50. $4 for First Immortal coming back first up, and the race fit Keats at $4.80. The rest are double figures. Another 7-horse field. My best of the day comes up in this race. I was with him last start. I'm with him again. His name's Aaron Bay, and this was his last start win at Flemington. This was over the 1,400 metres, the last race of the day on Australian Guineas Day, and he was just way too good for this field. First up, he raced wide without cover. Then came this run where he settled in an on-speed position and was way too good for them. I think up to the 1,600 metres only suits this horse third up. He's won twice at the 1,600 metres before. Looks to get a really good run from gate number 3. And, well, my ratings say he should be winning, so I agree with that. And with Aaron Bay on top, ahead of Keats, I just think I could hardly split Nugget, First Immortal and Keats. But I've gone with Keats for second just because it's got the race fitness and it should get its own way out in front. Craig Williams can dictate terms. In for third, First Immortal will want further in time but can track Nugget and finish stronger than it. And Nugget in for 4th, the class runner, the weight, the concern. I'm with Aaron Bay, highly confident, 2 units the win, race 5 Caulfield. It's that time of the week, it's last man standing, and we've had another load of movement since last week. Sammy has now shot to the top again after his place multi got up last week. A $500 place multi shoots him straight to the top, and Sky High Horse Racing lost 500. Simon, he sent me through the tip late Thursday night. It was a $300 win on Imperatriz, but due to the continuous not getting me the tips early, I can that as a $500 spend. So he loses 500. I lost 500. I'm down by $18. And Geordie, he actually made a lot of money, but he's still 642 in the red. We'll see what we're doing this week. Sammy, keeping it simple. 100 the win on Peace Treaty at Caulfield. Then we'll move on to what Sky High Horse Racing is doing. He is having a $300 win multi. Carini into Bold Bastille, into Mr. Brightside in the All-Star Mile. Simon, yet to send me through the tips again. I've gone for a $300 win multi, Carini into Aaron Bay, and then a $150 Quinella, spoiler alert, in the All-Star Mile. First, Cascadian, and second, either Mr. Brightside or Pride of Jenny. That's what I'm doing. Geordie is having $200 the win on Tropical Squall, $200 the win on Glory Days, and $100 the place on Razors. That's what we're doing. Last man standing this week. Race 7 is the Mystic Journey. It's a fillies and mares set weights plus penalty race over the 1,200 metres. The market headlined by Peace Treaty at $1.90. Clear favourite. Waltz on by at $5.50. My Bella May's been a big drifter, out to $6 and $8.50. Good support for Sione. I'm with one at a bit of a price here. This was the last start jump out of Lady Jones at the Caulfield Heath track. I think this horse can win and is classy enough to win first up on Saturday. Looks to be a really good fresh horse. Last preparation finished third behind Belthill and Fearless Rider first up at Caulfield. Draws gate 7, can settle midfield on the outside of horses, be in the right part of the track come this stage of the day and win. It's over the odds in my opinion. I'm having 0.5 units to win on it. Also 0.25 units to win on Danny St. Darcy, off a little bit of a freshen up, but I think has the right form to be winning this. Was pretty good last start behind Paray at the Valley, and before that finishing second to Varvia at Geelong. Think it's over the odds at $26, but in for second I've got My Bella May. I think could just be too classy for them and looks to map well from gate 2 and Damien Lane, and in for fourth Peace Treaty. Can't leave that out of my top 4, but I like Lady Jones in the Mystic Journey. Race 8 is the feature. It's the All-Star Mile over the 1600 metres. The market looks like this. Mr. Brightside is the $1.75 favourite ahead of Pride of Jenny at $3.80, $12 for Cascadian, $12 for Ayrton, $13 for Cascadian. The rest are above $20. This was the last start run of Cascadian at Rose Hill in the Very Elegant Stakes behind Think It Over and Fangirl, where he was second up, so I think he still has improvement to come out of this run, but he did some really good work late. Couldn't match it with Fangirl, but stayed within 2 lengths of Fangirl, and that's pretty good form. Cascadian only finished half a length off Mr. Brightside in last year's All-Star Mile, and I think Cascadian can turn the tables on Mr. Brightside off that performance. First of all, I think Cascadian's better suited getting out to a track with a longer straight than Moonee Valley in Caulfield, off last year's All-Star Mile, obviously, is what I'm referring to. Also, Cascadian drew the car park that day, had to go right back to near enough to last, and just wasn't suited by that at all. So I think with those two things combined, Cascadian can turn the tables on Mr. Brightside, and, well, Mr. Brightside's $1.75 and Cascadian is $13. I just think there's too much between them in the market. Cascadian, I think, maps to get to midfield, just off midfield, from that gate, or just off midfield, yeah. And Mr. Brightside, gate 11, I don't think that's too much of a problem. I think will slot in. Pride of Jenny, I would probably have on top if she was off the week back up, but just being off 5 weeks, I'm not sure whether, we were talking before the CF4, on whether if they do their daring tactics, will that mess her up for the preparation? Will she be left flat for the preparation? That might have happened because she's had a 5-week break into the All-Star Mile, but it could be intentional, and I don't know about that. So Pride of Jenny in for third and Attractable in for fourth, can be on speed and run a very bold race, but I think Cascadian, 0.75 units to win, is over the odds. Race 9 is the Country Mile Series Final, a benchmark 80 over the 1600 metres. Sir Atlas is the favourite at $4.80 ahead of Dashing Duchess at $5 and then $9 for Jaconi. This was a last start effort of Dupe by Spin and Jaconi at Wangaratta. Now, out of this run, Jaconi I thought was more impressive. Missed the start slightly, got held up at the top part of the straight, and only finished 3/4 of a length off Dupe by Spin. I also think Dupe by Spin's a pretty good chance. I was with it 2 back at Moonee Valley, starting about $31. It didn't do anything there. They put it up to the 1590 metres at Wangaratta, and it won. So I just think this distance range is good for Dupe by Spin to show its best ability. But I'm having Jaconi on top, but I'm just not confident because it always misses the start and it's drawn gate 1 in a field of 16. So I can't have any units on it, and I wanted to put Sir Atlas ahead of Jaconi, but I just thought, what if Jaconi jumps decently and gets to midfield or so and it gets the luck in running? I think it's out of the top 2, definitely. Sir Atlas can most definitely win. I nearly had it on top, but Jaconi I thought represented better value in terms of the price. In for third, Hasseltoff for Tom Dabenig and Blake Shin. Should be running a nice race. And in for fourth, Dupe by Spin in the Country Mile Series Final. Race 10 to finish the day is the listed Bella Spree Stakes over the 1200 metres. Ray Magnerio is the favourite coming out of the Oakley Plate at $3.40. Grand Impact is at $4.20, and the next two, Bankmore and Broodnell. So, I like this horse quite a bit on Saturday, and it's the one right down the bottom with 54 kilos coming out of the Zetative Stakes, Mahaba. Settled on speed on this occasion, and look, it was decent, but I thought just needed the run first up. Now draws gate 8. I don't think it'll be on speed again. I think it'll be midfield in the 3 wide running line, and my ratings say it's right amongst the winning chances, and that's why I think it's over the odds at $11. So I think it can improve second up with Geordie Childs in the saddle. I'm having 0.75 units to win on Mahaba. Ray Magnerio in for second. Why isn't John McNeil riding? He's riding something else. So that's what concerned me slightly, but I'm not too sure. Yeah, I'm not too sure what to make of that, but has been racing well and comes through some really good form last start. The Group 1 Oakley Plate. In for third, Broodnell will be on speed, probably leading and giving its all. Mark Zara on also fills me with a lot of confidence. And Mathletic, got to keep that safe, has got some decent form around overseas, but will be better suited over further. Now we'll move on to the quaddie. Last week, oh so close again. Should have put in cylinder. I should have put in cylinder, but I didn't. So we move on. Last week, 3 out of 4. In race 7, the Mystic Journey going for 2, My Bella May, 5, Danny St. Darcy, 6, Lady Jones, 11, Peace Treaty. Hopefully one of the roughies can get up there. In the All-Star Mile, 1, Mr. Brightside, 2, Cascadian, 3, Attractable, and 12, Pride of Jenny. Then in race 9, the Country Miles Series final, number 1, Sir Atlas, number 4, Hasseltoff, number 5, Duconi, and number 8, Dupe by Spin. And then in the last race, the Bella Spree Stakes, number 2, Bankmore, number 3, Broodnell, number 8, Mathletic, number 9, Ray Magnerio, number 11, Mahaba, taking on Grand Impact. Thank you everyone for watching my All-Star Mile Day preview. Looks to be a cracking day at Caulfield. Really keen on Carini and Aaron Bay. Also keen on some other horses like Cascadian and Mahaba. So I think it's going to be a great day. Hopefully we can make a profit. Hopefully I've tipped you into a winner. And I'll see you to do it all again next week for William Reid Stakes Day at the Valley.